Growing older is a blessing and not a curse, as many people would want to make it out to be. However, many men believe as they grow older, they begin to lose their touch with the women. But, in reality, many women are actively seeking these older men. The problem is that older men are not prepared well enough to know that a younger woman likes them. You see, older men offer a lot when it comes to dating, and we'll discuss this soon, but it's more attractive to women who don't want to play around with immature younger men who are unsure about what they want. This makes the older man, who needs to provide and survive in life, that much more attractive, and it might even seem like they have it all figured out. Today, we explore some of the signs that show whether or not a younger woman likes you. Some of these signs are easy to miss, so make sure you stick around to the end. But first, we need to understand why women choose older men. Why do women choose older men? Now, many insecure men might be quick to say that it's all about the financial success of older men and the stability. Whilst you are somewhat correct, this isn't all there is, and there's often a lot more that's important for women when it comes to choosing a suitable partner. You see, younger men have no goal of settling down, and they simply want to live their lives and have some fun whilst doing it. This means that these men often don't know what it is they want, which makes it impossible for a woman to find some stability when dating these kinds of men. Older men have already endured some of the trials and tribulations that life often throws their way, and this is ultimately what changes them from living life on the edge to taking calculated risks, which are often built around stability and progressing forward. They say that women are mentally more mature than men, and this is why many younger women want an older and more experienced partner who can match their perspective of the world to ensure that the relationship is balanced. Whilst women might find it attractive to get their drunk partner out of the bar every now and again as a younger age, they definitely don't want this to be the life they will live forever. But when a woman chooses an older man to date, the relationship often struggles to move forward in any particular direction because older men struggle to notice the signs of attraction. So, with that being said, let's look at some of the most common signs women like an older man that often go unnoticed. Number 1. She treats you like the wise man. One of the first ways to notice if a woman likes you as an older man is to see how she treats you when it comes to everyday life. You see, women believe they're powerful, all by themselves, but this isn't always the case, and when they run into trouble, she's seeking someone to talk to who can help her solve some of these issues. However, women don't naturally turn to just any man for advice, and this is because the moment she does it, many men believe she's now into him, and she's seeking a relationship. So, nowadays, women will only seek advice from men they believe could be truly valuable partners. One of the first signs as an older man you should give some attention to is when she starts coming to you for advice on some of her problems. This will mean that she actually trusts you, and while it might not be the most conclusive of signs, it is one of the preliminary signs you need to notice. Number 2. Seeking validation. The next one is far more common in almost all kinds of relationships. You see, humans have a natural want and desire to be accepted by the world around them. Everyone wants to feel like they belong to something, but if there's an interest from her, it's even more important that she's accepted by you in life. What you should notice is that women tend to seek validation from the person they like. Yes, she might post a couple pictures on social media, and this draws out some likes and comments, but it still doesn't fill the void. In fact, they don't even respond to the comments of men telling them how beautiful they are. And this is simply because she wants to hear it from the one person that matters. As an older guy, you'll find yourself receiving many questions directly pertaining to her. She'll even send you text messages or pictures about what she's doing or tell you how her day's been. All this is to have you tell her something positive and an attempt at seeking some validation from you. One of the most promising signs, if you ever wondered if she likes you or not, is to look out for moments when she's seeking your validation. Women always need to seek validation from the people they like, and she wants to feel like she's accepted by this person. Unfortunately, many older men just give the validation and ignore it, which kills the relationship's momentum. Number 3. Finding excuses to see you. Another thing you might have noticed that pertains to almost all women is the fact that if she likes you, she'll do her very best to see you whenever she possibly can. In fact, she'll try almost anything as an excuse to be close to you, and even go as far as setting up certain dates. In fact, she might even seek excuses that can often be seen as dumb as an attempt to see you and hope that you don't realize this. You see, women understand that older men are working harder and focusing on building a future, which drastically limits their available time. Some signs of this might be simply her surprising you at work, or even just pitching up at your apartment with something to eat. However, the more likely scenario would be when she tries to think of ideas to get you out on dates. But whenever a woman is actively trying her very best to see you and spend time with you, you can be pretty sure that she's extremely interested and most likely wants the relationship to progress to something more. Make sure you capitalize on this and allow her to do this, which should also help establish an even deeper form of attraction. Number 4. Playful age jokes. One of the most important things in any relationship is that two people are comfortable talking to one another and they actually manage to spend some time together that allows them to joke and fool around with some playful banter. Now, you might think that women are like this to all men, but this simply isn't the case. You see, women avoid having too much communication with men they don't like, and even if you start the banter, she's more than likely to ignore you instead of engaging in such behavior. However, one of the most common signs she likes you is when she happens to feel comfortable making jokes with you and allowing you to also engage in some reciprocation that allows the banter to flow. She's more than likely to use your age as one of the things she'll make jokes about, and this will inevitably create that small sense of vulnerability. Some of the jokes pertaining to your age might have a sexual element to them, which can often be overwhelming, but this is even more important. You see, the moment a woman is willing to engage in somewhat sexual banter, it means that she's open and comfortable being around you or just talking to you. Number 5. Complaining about younger men. Now, this one might not directly apply to you, but it should give you an idea of whether she's willing to date an older man. You see, women will often still be willing to engage with men at their own age, always having the hope of finding one of the more mature men among them. But if she's willing to date older men, she's also likely to be more direct in her complaining of these men. In fact, she might actively try to tell you just how bad these guys are and that she doesn't want to date a man her own age. Additionally, she might compliment you on your maturity and say things like, "You're different than any other man of her own age group." Unfortunately, men don't notice this as a sign of attraction, and they often join in when it comes to complaining about younger men. Instead, you should focus on this as a sign, as a way of knowing she's ready for an older, more mature guy. Number 6. Revealing her insecurities. As you might have noticed at this point, many of these signs are similar to when a girl likes you in general. However, a woman might like a younger guy, but knowing his level of immaturity, she might choose not to talk to him about some of the insecurities that are currently bothering her, which can make it daunting to build actual trust. However, women realize that older men are far more mature, and these men tend to actually care when it comes to what women are telling them. One of the clearest signs of attraction you're bound to notice will be the fact that she opens up about some of her problems and even her insecurities. This doesn't mean that you should try and elicit these conversations, but when you realize that she's opening up about some of the things she can't handle and how tough life has been, it's one of the most powerful signs that she does actually like you and will want to be with you. Women will rarely open up to strangers due to the fact that life has shown women that men cannot be trusted. You see, many younger men will easily take advantage of these weaknesses, often making it extremely hard for her to know if he actually cares. Fortunately, older men are supposed to think about life a little more, and this is why they choose to open up about some of their weaknesses and insecurities when it comes to talking to an older guy she trusts. Number 7. She defends your age. One thing you need to understand as an older man is that this woman who likes you will have some friends and family who still believe age is important in relationships. In fact, many of her male friends might actually attack your age, telling her that you're just old and she should never be in a relationship with you. In many cases we've seen, the word sugar daddy is very pronounced, and it's easy for younger men to simply refer to this older person as being some kind of sugar daddy, and she'll need to push your wheelchair one day. This is one of the most common things that often happens when it comes to dating a younger woman. However, a woman who likes you will be more than ready for this onslaught, and she'll more than likely choose to defend your age if you're not going to engage in these kinds of conversations. You see, the best way to actually deal with this as a man is to brush it off in a charming yet non-aggressive way that tends to simplify life for you. But what you'll notice is that a woman who likes you is more than likely to defend your age, and she'll stand up for your dignity whether you're around or not. The moment you realize this, she's already made a mental decision that she wants to be with you, and now she needs to convince the others around to accept it. Number 8. She will naturally try to be more mature. Whilst she's already showing signs of advanced maturity, if you compare it to men of her own age, what you're also going to notice is the fact that she's trying to reach your level more effectively. She might even start to mimic some of the things you're doing as a way of showing this extra level of maturity that she needs to have. One of the best ways to see this is when she comes over to your apartment a couple of times and the two of you become comfortable with one another. A woman that's truly into you will try to take the reins of the wife role, where she will naturally want to act as if she's somehow your wife or partner for life. Men need to open their eyes to this phenomenon, as it is perhaps one of the ultimate signals of a woman who's completely interested in you and might even be seeking some kind of relationship as well. Number 9. The maturity conversation pops up often. Much like you've seen the conversation about how immature other men have come to the forefront, you'll also have her talk about maturity quite often. However, what many men don't understand is that this is another form of seeking validation, and she actually wants you to tell her that she's more mature than 99% of other women and people of her age. But she'll focus on telling you that maturity is one of the main reasons for her liking you, which is one of those subconscious statements that allows her to actually admit that she does in fact like you. The conversation about maturity should also tell you that whatever it is you're doing or the person you're becoming is definitely something that she naturally likes. But keep in mind that the more she talks about maturity when she has chosen an older man, the more she's already hooked and wants something to come from this. Number 10. She tries to control your life. As you might have noticed in some of our previous videos, there's always some kind of progression where women want to progress to a position of power in the relationship, but they often overcompensate, and this is where things turn a little to the dark side. Since she's the one who likes you, she's definitely the reacher or the person fighting above her own weight class, but the gap will close very quickly as she learns how you work or what you like or dislike. Once she's established this, a woman will want to be a little more in control of where things are going, and this could involve controlling your life. The problem is that many older men are too laid back to even notice this until it's too late. Well, they might not be laid back, but their focus is on building a future and providing the possibility of having a family. It's important to notice if she's trying to take control of your life and address this as soon as humanly possible. Ideally, you want to have balance and harmony in the relationship, and you should tell her to only be herself. You see, when she feels intimidated by the person she's dating, it's very natural to want to compete with them and often take over. As daunting or as complicated as dating younger women might seem, it's actually one of the most rewarding things. But men often doubt themselves, and this makes it impossible for something like this to actually take off and bloom into a relationship. We recommend you watch one of our other videos that focus on younger women and older men to have some additional tips to know if she likes you or not.